The empty lot. Chapter 1. The vacant lot. I settled into my new apartment in the quiet suburban neighborhood, embracing the tranquility after years of city life's relentless chaos. Days blended together as I established a routine, teaching English literature at the local high school by day and writing fiction in the evenings while sipping tea on the balcony overlooking the empty lot next door. The property had been vacant for as long as anyone could remember, a testament to the area's slow yet steady gentrification. Mrs. Finch, my elderly neighbor across the street, would often sit on her porch, knitting or gardening, her silver hair catching the fading light of day. One morning, I watched in disbelief as she packed an overnight bag and disappeared without a word. Her garden remained untouched, and her house grew still, yet no one seemed to notice. I knocked on doors, seeking answers, but found indifference. Neighbors too engrossed in their lives or unwilling to discuss the matter. When I approached the police, they brushed me off with a dismissive pat. Mrs. Finch left for a nursing home. It didn't feel right. Her health was fine, and an unannounced move wasn't her style. As night fell, the usual sounds of crickets and distant traffic hushed, replaced by unsettling noises from within those overgrown weeds. Whispers, footsteps that skipped time, and an otherworldly rustling. My apartment grew colder, air thick with unease. My roommate, Kate, attributed it to the house settling or my imagination running wild after the recent move. But I knew what I heard, an unnerving creaking, like someone tugging at rusty hinges, and muffled laughter carrying on the breeze. Those nights, objects began appearing. An old lamp in a far corner, a book I'd never seen, a vase with wilted flowers. Each morning, they vanished as mysteriously as they materialized. I questioned my mind's stability, but something sinister was unfolding here. One evening, Kate fell asleep early and woke me to the unmistakable clattering of porcelain on wood floors. In the kitchen, shards littered the floor around a shattered plate. "It's an animal," she said, but the windows were sealed, and I had no pets. The next day at school, my mind wandered between classes as dark shadows darted along the edges of my vision. I caught glimpses of movement outside the classroom, tall figures that melted into the lot when looked at directly. At night, a window shattered without warning, leaving jagged glass in a perfect circle on the floorboards. Kate slept soundly. I couldn't shake the feeling we were being watched. As days passed, strange visions persisted. Mrs. Finch standing at the fence post, beckoning me to come closer before vanishing into thin air. I began keeping a journal, fragments of reality and nightmares blending together. The police dismissed her disappearance and odd events as my imagination fueled by stress. Yet it felt true. One evening, a chill crept in as I read in bed. An icy breath brushed the nape of my neck. Kate slept beside me, oblivious to the presence. Chapter 2. Echoes of Silence. Mrs. Finch's vanishing act and paranormal activity intensified my unease until I uncovered something hidden. A room deep within the apartment's basement. Dust that coated photographs lined walls, depicting girls from various eras, their faces smiling yet haunted. The final picture showed an elderly woman holding a girl with piercing eyes. In these images, I recognized her as young Sarah. Decades ago, whispers whispered of a missing child in that same lot. Kate grew distant. She'd hear things too. Disembodied voices, the unexplained scent of smoke, and something wet licking walls at night. Neighbors avoided us both now, convinced we were losing our minds. Detective Jenkins visited, skeptical but polite. Mrs. Finch retired to her daughter's nursing home in Pennsylvania. I showed him photographs. He suggested it was my stress, the writing life taking a toll. The hidden room remained my secret, too disturbing for anyone else to know. Shadows thickened at night, dark silhouettes skirting the lot. One morning, Kate left abruptly, without explanation or notice. A note on the kitchen counter read, "I'm out of here." I was alone now, with an apartment that echoed her absence, and whispers from the lot turned deafening. A chilling melody echoing between walls. It seemed Mrs. Finch wasn't the only disappearance in this place. Jenkins returned, more receptive to my concerns, but unable to find evidence. He hinted at voluntary departures, people reaching their breaking points or seeking solitude in retirement homes. I was alone with an ever-darkening apartment and a sense that something waited outside. In the dead of night, as the lot seemed to awaken around me, I found Kate's journal tucked under my pillow. Frantic scrawls of shadowy figures watching us, demanding her presence. Then there were the objects, books falling off shelves, the sound of children playing, Mrs. Finch's laughter carried on the wind. Chapter 3. The Last Image. The room beneath my feet revealed its secrets, and so did the truth about Sarah, a child taken from this lot decades ago. The echoes in my head were not just noise, but my own mind's defense mechanism against trauma buried too deep to confront. Kate returned, shaking yet insistent there was nothing supernatural. I had lost myself in my stories. Yet, every night brought new revelations. The girl, Mrs. Finch, and the unearthing of a hidden history. A tale of darkness that rooted in this forgotten lot. In this final confrontation with myself, I realized I wasn't haunted by malevolent spirits, but the demons I tried to exorcise through fiction. My own mind had created this labyrinth, weaving together stories of loss and longing. As I packed my bags to leave, Kate appeared, her eyes wide as she watched me unraveling before me. "You were right," was all she said, a silent apology for not believing. Together we left the apartment behind its dark legacy, the echoes silenced by our departure into dawn. The empty lot had shown me how tenuous reality's grip could be when weighed down by our deepest fears. I walked away from it all, and toward myself, determined to find solace in my writing desk as a therapist for the darkness within.